Hello everyone from a very gaily Scotland. Amidst the rolling hills of Fife lies the charming village of Falkland, steeped in history, brimming with character and so much more. The wind is making it very difficult for me to film today, so apologies for a lot of voiceovers. Today we are in a small town north of Edinburgh called Falkland. Now Falkland is a beautiful medieval Renaissance town. It has a palace with gardens. It has a church. It has a fountain in the middle of the village. Falkland is also home to one of the most haunted hotels in Scotland, if not in Britain. The hotel has some very eminent guests, ghostly guests there, and I lived there for 6 months 20 years ago, and I have a couple of ghost stories. Falkland was once the dwelling of the Stuart kings and queens as they hunted deer and wild boar in the wild forests of Fife. Falkland Castle possibly rooted back to the 12th century, where it was said to have served as a hunting lodge and converted into a castle by the Earl of Fife. King James I confiscated the Falkland estate in 1425 after the murder of his brother, and Falkland and the surrounding village were elevated to royal burgh. The palace was built by 1337. There would have been atop a pre-existing castle strategically placed here, and it has been the home to the Stuart family from that day onwards. But Falkland Palace owes the most to King James IV and King James V, who turned it into a magnificent example of Renaissance architecture. James V was the king who spent most of the time at Falkland Palace. That is, besides Mary, Queen of Scots. Mary enjoyed some of her happiest times in Falkland, and so did James VI, who later became James I of England. Nice, but it's locked. Huh? I don't know if you can turn it. It's locked. What do you mean it's locked?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I said, oh my god, he's opening by himself.
No, it wasn't me.
Okay, I can turn this off. Actually scared. This is a dungeon. Charles II was the last monarch to spend some time at the palace before the long period of decline began, until the palace was restored in the 1800s. Crazy weather out there. This has been set up by the National Trust as an apothecary. There would have been an apothecary in the palace at the time. The apothecary was used during Outlander season 2. They took everything away after the production of the episode, and the palace staff has rebuilt it their own way. It looks pretty cool, doesn't it? I actually lived here where there were just over 1,000 souls, and now it's past the 1,100, and that is not including cows and sheep. I was here for work, and my company found me a place to stay was an apartment in the Covenanter Hotel, which is one of the most haunted hotels in Scotland, if not in Britain. The Covenanter Hotel is a charming 17th century coaching inn. It gets its name from the Scottish people who signed the National Covenant in 1638. Don't miss out the next video on Greyfriars Kirkyard if you want to know more. The Covenanter Hotel is said to be haunted by Mary Queen of Scots. There are noises heard inside the hotel, bangs and things like that. I don't understand why she would stay there instead of the hotel up here. This is one of the things. But a couple of things happened when I was living there, and I didn't know that it was the most haunted hotel, one of the most haunted hotels in Scotland at the time. I found out possibly about 10 years later, and that made kind of sense. So one of the things I found really funny is that when I saw the first episode of Outlander, and he says he was in Inverness in the 1940s, and I looked at it and I said, oh my God, that's Falkland, I live there. So here's my own story. Inside that apartment there was a tiny little window, and the strangest thing about the window is that it looked against the wall. It felt like I was being watched, which didn't make any sense because there was a wall there was nothing else. But you get the feeling of someone watching. I had to draw the curtains. It was just a very weird feeling. On another occasion, we crossed the garden at the back of the building, from the actual hotel to the homes at the back of the garden. I remember running all the way back to the hotel. I am not afraid of the dark, okay, but it felt like there was something there. And that is the story I've been telling for the last 20 years. Until one day I checked up the hotel on the internet and I found out that I've been living for 6 months in one of the most haunted hotels in Scotland. That was so awesome. Well, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give us a thumb up, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.